would be his senior year. And he's over at the draw stand. He's just a little west of me, probably quarter of a mile, quarter to a half a mile. And we're sitting out here in the morning, both going after a buck we call Skinny. Beautiful, actually only a 5x4, but he's the biggest 5x4 I've ever seen up here. So we're up in northern North Dakota. I don't know if I said that. A little foggy this morning, pretty early for me to get up. And I'm sitting over a 1.25 acre Whitetail Institute beets and greens plot, and they seem to be in it pretty thick. So this is the first snow of the year, and it's right around that 30-degree mark. So it's colder than it's been the last few days. It's been like 45. Hopefully that gets the bucks moving. The weather doesn't keep them away. It seems like I've had some really good sits in these storms, but I got just about 45 minutes to an hour until shooting light, so I'm going to be sitting here in the dark for quite some time. And so hopefully when that time comes, some deer are moving around, and hopefully Skinny will be here too.
Well, it's November 11th, 2021, and I'm sitting up here at the draw stand this morning. Once I got in here, I was kind of trying to get some of the camera equipment set up. And as I was doing that, a little buck chased a doe right down in front of me and then left right away. So of course I continued to try and get my camera stuff set up. And then probably, 10 minutes after they left, a little 4x4 buck came walking from behind me. And he stayed for a little bit and then left too, so I finally got a little break now. I'm going to take advantage of no deer being here at this time. Because the way the morning's going, it seems like it could happen at any time and how fast things are going, so well, we're after a buck we call Skinny. He's a 9-pointer. These bucks are kind of cruising all over the place from the sounds of it. Nick's been up here hunting the past couple days, and just a bunch of rutting activity every time he's gone out and sit. So he's at a spot a little ways to my east, about half a mile, 3/4 of a mile. So we're kind of covering this northern spot here up on our northern North Dakota hunting land. It's kind of snowing, the first snowfall of 2021 here in North Dakota, and it's always good when you can get some snow on the ground during deer season, but there's a little bit of a wind right now and it's making it pretty cold, so we're gonna sit in here tight, and hopefully the fast action and a lot of action continues throughout the day. So hopefully Skinny walks by and we can get it done.
The joys of morning hunting. We got about 15-20 minutes until legal shooting light, so I can't even really see, but down close to the plot I see 3 deer, pretty good body size. Got no chance of telling if it's our guy or not. Hopefully they hang around for the light to get a little brighter so I can get a look. I saw those deer out there. There was 4 of them, and one was a buck at the pile. 2 of them were just going at it. They were fighting. Like, I've never seen bucks fight like that before. I don't know if they went in front of any of our cameras, but they were both really big bucks. Couldn't get any footage because it was too dark. You'd see it through the binoculars. And actually, it's snowing now. So the only reason I saw there were big bucks is we got this food plot that kind of has a hill to it, and there's snow on there. So when the one eventually chased him away, he ran that direction, and both of them big mainframe bucks. I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of our guys. So we're probably 5 minutes away to having good camera light. So as soon as that happens, I'm gonna rip a couple grunts. I know it's windy, but once whoever won chased the other one out, and they kept snorting. It was ridiculous. Just whoa, whoa, whoa. They chased a doe up by me. A couple other does went into the trees, and just after they got all done snoring, one buck kind of came through the plot and then walked off to the east side, and now there's nothing but all that commotion. I'm hoping our guy comes in, or I can grunt our guy back in if he was one of those bucks. We'll give it a try. Definitely a good sign this early in the morning. Maybe a good sign that they're cruising and looking for some does. Sound's gonna travel when it's this windy, but worth a try. So I think Jalen's already headed back to the cabin, but I think we'll check cameras, and then I think Dad's grilling burgers, so we'll eat pretty well, and then in a couple hours go out for the evening, see what the cameras say, and we'll figure out where we're going.
Oh, that's a good burger.
Alright, it's November 11th, 2021, and we're sitting at the Pines tonight. We're in a redneck pine tonight compared to this morning, which we were sitting in a tree stand, and it's pretty brutal outside, so we decided we were going to bundle up a little bit and was at a spot that was about a half a mile away. We call it draw. And just saw a couple does and smaller bucks. And Nick was actually at this spot this morning. And before daylight could bring enough camera light to film, Nick actually spotted one of our shooter bucks we call Skinny. And he just didn't have enough light. It wasn't, I don't think shooting light was even legal yet. So he was fighting with another buck. The only reason we know it was him was we checked the cameras this afternoon and he was just leaving the pile at about the same time. So we had a feeling it was him. So he's been in this area. He was fighting a younger buck this morning and he took off down the trail here to our east. And it's been kind of snowy and crappy outside all day, so it is probably the middle of the rut. We don't know if they moved much today just because of how crappy it's been. So I'm hunting over the food plot part of this spot, and it's a spot that brought us some luck last year. Nick harvested a buck we call Hazard, a really big mature deer that we kind of watched over the last couple years. Nick's sitting at another spot where he likes to show up during the rut, and it's just to the south of me a little ways. So he's rifle hunting, so he's got a little more range than I do here, but it's gonna be a little cold, but not as cold as this morning. And hopefully we get Skinny to walk in out here and give us a good shot opportunity. It is Veterans Day, so I'd like to say thanks to all those veterans out there. Appreciate your service, allowing us to do stuff like this. So hopefully it's a good night. We'll sit tight and hopefully the deer get moving here, even though it's kind of crappy weather. Stay tuned.
Well, it is November 11th, 2021. I'm sitting at the oats field tonight, and it's just kind of a staging area for these bucks. It kind of looks over a big swamp, and there is alfalfa field to my right, but yeah, it's cold. I mean, not temperature-wise, but it's like 20-mile-an-hour winds and snowing. I sat at the pines this morning. Jalen was at the draw. He saw some action. I had a good sit and had two bucks fighting early, and couldn't tell what they were because it was so dark, not legal time yet. Well, we checked the camera, and one of them was Skinny, so that's the buck we're after too. So Jalen's back up at the pines. He's hunting with a bow. He's going to be in the pines bow stand, which was right by where they walked out. And so I'm really hoping Skinny comes to him. But according to trail camera, this seems to be the other spot that Skinny seems to frequent. We got snow for the first time in 2021. Like I said, it's snowing now, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to be hunkering in here. I'm too spoiled by all those rednecks. This is just one of our wooden stands, so hopefully Skinny walks by for me or Jalen. We'll see how it goes. morning. That's Skinny. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to say. Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't believe that happened. I saw Ace way out there, big buck. Oh my goodness, and all of a sudden I look here, I was like, I wonder what's following that doe. Sure enough, it's him. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I saw him this morning. I sat at the Pines this morning. Jalen went up there because we thought he'd be back there in this wind and this snow, first snow of the year, November 11th, 2021. Skinny is on the ground, baby. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let me get the door for you.
Okay.
Done?
Well, I thought I was gonna have a buzzer beater for a while, but how are you?
He's laying out there.
Is he? No, I couldn't tell what he said.
He's freaking laying out there, man. Holy smokes! Just came out of the swamp. I was watching Ace out in the corner. I literally had the video camera on Ace. It's like, a couple does going to the pile. I'm watching. I'm like, that's a little bigger. Oh my goodness, it's him. It's him. Yeah. Might have to look at it on the highway or something.
Yeah, there's still snow going across.
All right, yeah. Jalen's telling me he doesn't know how good you can see me. No one wants to see me anyway, so it doesn't matter. But we're gonna walk up to him. I got Jalen, and we haven't even seen him yet. So let's go check him out, huh?
Let's go get our hands on him.
Holy smokes, Jalen! Oh, what do you think of that? Holy buckets! Almost kind of a start to a kicker there. Holy smokes! Look at that side. That G4 is just huge. Massive right here.
Yeah.
Not so skinny as we call him. Holy smokes! He's definitely more massive than I thought. This is a buck that we had for, I guess it's only his second year now, but we thought he was old enough, and he sure looks pretty old, I think. Holy smokes.
Did he have snow on his rack when he came out?
Yeah, a little bit, I think.
I say all the bucks that I saw tonight.
Jeez, that's unbelievable. Look at that thing. Just the big old brow tines too. Holy smokes. That is something. It's definitely my biggest rifle buck. Holy smokes. That is crazy. And basically a blizzard. I mean, that is, holy moly. It's one of my better tag jobs right there. Look at that. 2021 in the books. Dang, look at that. Well, we left off last night in a blizzard when we went up to them, and wanted to show you guys them in the light a little more. And with all the heavy snow coming down, we decided to gut them out and get out of there. But yeah, really cool buck. Kind of a cool story on him, where that morning it ended up, I saw him, one of the 2 bucks that I saw fighting before a shooting light. I didn't know it was him. And we checked trail cameras in between our morning and evening sit and saw it was him. And so we kind of decided, well, Jalen was going to head up there. He had a bow tag, go sit in the bow redneck that evening. And I would go to an area where he did frequent a lot, but we thought, because the storm was so violent, I guess I should say, it was about 20, 30 mile an hour winds and snowing. We decided, well, he's probably not going to move much. Jalen's probably going to have the best crack at him at the Pines, but we'll check. I'll go down to West Oatsfield Gate, and it's a really good rutting area. I got a buck in 2016 there, and Jalen reminded me it was the second Thursday of rifle season then too. And no, it was a fun hunt. Our second year with him on camera, and kind of one that moved in last year. So we not one that necessarily grew up on our property to our knowledge, I guess, but the food plots seemed to bring him in, and he stayed around, which was nice. And yeah, got it done this year. It was a special buck for sure.
Yeah, really mature deer. What are we thinking? 5.5, could be 6.5.
Yeah.
I mean, last year he came in and he was pretty mature then. He probably could have been shot last year, but we figured, give him another year and see what he grows into. And yeah, he lost a G4 on the left side, but
that kills the score.
He kind of shot up with the mass and just the tine length I think he kept. So his main beams look a little bit bigger this year too.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, his nickname's Skinny, and that's because of the skinny tines, and he doesn't really have it as much this year. No. So you can tell he definitely matured into his rack a little bit. And yeah, just a nice buck. Like Jalen said, 5.5, we're figuring, who knows. But he seemed old when he moved in, and really a special buck, one we're after this year. And it's good to see the food plots to continue to pay off. I mean, it's been, all of us put in a ton of work. It's always, when we get a deer like this, it's always just kind of we call it a company deer, because me, Jalen, Mark, and my dad, we put in a lot of work to get deer like this, and kind of committed to that, I don't know, 6-7 years ago probably, and it's really starting to pay off now, and kind of going with, 1 deer per person per year, and being really picky, letting them grow up, and it's starting to really show, and hopefully it'll continue to show too. So,
what do you think some of the keys to getting them down were?
Oh man, yeah, I mean, the scrape cameras were big. I mean, we, over the food plots and stuff, we just didn't have a ton of pictures of them, and they're always so blurry anyway. But the scrape cameras were big, and yeah, just reading the weather. I mean, that was huge. I mean, we didn't overhunt because the weather was so bad. Opening weekend, I didn't go out. Jalen didn't go out because of football too, but it was hot, and we saw this second weekend. Jalen, I mean, we were already making plans for today that, well, we have to hunt the morning and evening again, because these are going to be our best couple days, our best chance of getting them. And just so happened that our second sit, and I saw them both sits, so yeah. But I guess I don't know if I said it yet, but he grosses out at 164 1/4. So nice buck. Has some good things for score. Has some bad things. But no, he's a cool buck, and yeah, like you said, kind of the keys were probably the trail cameras to pattern them, not pattern them, but find out where he was at. And scrapes were big. I mean, my dad was probably the one that kind of started doing that. I know he got a couple of his biggest bucks off trail cameras on scrapes, and that was definitely a key here. And it's not always the food sources, especially in the rut.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably the biggest thing. And you can't always hunt the food source during the rut.
Yeah.
You kind of got to find where they like to cruise through, and
exactly,
you can get those spots where they like to check up on. And when we looked at cameras, he kind of pinpointed that those 2 areas that we were in were the spots that he liked the most during the rut. So, and it makes sense, because a lot of does are there, and
easy places to travel, especially with the north wind last night. Definitely spots you wanted to be in. So.
Exactly. Hunt the does too. Yep. It's weird, and just a buck like this we were talking to, you don't get many chances at him. He's not going to be out in the daylight all the time, so especially in the thick timber up there. It's crazy that I actually saw him twice. Like Jalen was telling me after I got him that he was thinking when he was in the stand that evening, like when I saw him that morning, that might have been our chance for the season. Like that, he didn't know how many of those would come along, and it was a good point. And thank God you were wrong on that one. But no, it was cool. I was looking at another big buck at our property, and he came out, and the rest is history, I guess.
Hopefully this isn't the only deer of 2021.
No, it is not going to be the only deer. Yeah, NJ hunting's finally on the board, and it only took us till November 11th. I think last year we had like 4 or 5 tags filled by then. So, yeah.
A little bit less opportunity.
Yeah, a little less, but yeah, great buck.